All right. So, all the Ghostbusters sequels, remakes, etc., are pretty crappy. I think so many ideas are great for one movie, and that's all you need. I know exactly what you're saying, and honestly, yeah. Obviously the first Ghostbusters movie is sort of a classic. It's really good. It's fun. The effects are good. It's funny. All around, it's just like a perfect movie. A lot of people would say, and then they made the second one, and the second one, I kind of like the second one still. It's kind of fun. Obviously not as good as the first one, but it's kind of fun. And that's one of my main problems with this new movie is that they don't even acknowledge the second one. They just like, oh, it didn't happen. And this movie, Ghostbusters Afterlife, is all just remember the first movie, remember what worked about the first movie. Let's cram every little thing that we liked about the first movie and put it into this movie because that'll make this movie good, right? No, I don't agree with it. Sure, some of the facts are good. Some of the things did work in this movie, but I did not like it. It fell flat. Every time they do a callback, like a literal callback in a way where they say who you gonna call, it's just such an obvious Easter egg being like, remember the first movie, remember it. And then of course after Ghostbusters 2 though, back to all the Ghostbusters movies, they made Ghostbusters 2016, which is a remake of the first movie but with all women cast, and that one's not good either, but I think I might have liked that more than this, which is crazy because I thought I would like this more than that. Because 2016 was, I had like not the craziest expectations, but I thought this would at least be kind of good. And I just think this would have been better instead of doing. I feel like this is a trope now where they have the kids of the people that were in the original series or the original movie or whatever. And we're following the kids now. And it's so tired. It's been done so many times. And I'm just sort of done. I didn't need it. I didn't care for it. But there is some things that I liked about this movie. Very few, but I'll talk about them. Paul Rudd is fine. He does this bit at the beginning. He's the teacher for summer school, but he doesn't really give a shit. So he just plays horror movies, which is kind of funny. He was playing Cujo, and he played Child's Play. I thought that was a kind of funny gag. I liked. That he doesn't care. He's just doing the bare minimum, just showing the kids movies. So that's kind of fun. But other than that, it's just thing after things like remember the proton pack, remember the Marshmallow Man, and remember like fuck and everything that was good about the first movie. Remember this, remember this, remember this. And it's like, okay, I get it, but to a certain extent, just fucking make a new villain, make a new ghost, make a new creature. And they sort of did that. But when they did that, it also annoyed me. Like, they should have done not Gozer again. They should have done, because it was just Gozer, like in the first movie. But they didn't even do the cool part, which is guess the form. Like, say what form you want. That's when Dan Aykroyd imagines the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in the first movie. And the Gozer turns into the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. So I thought it would be cool if they did that again, but with a different, like, they learned their mistake the last time, so they would pick something else as the form. And spoiler alert, sort of, so the real Ghostbusters, or the original Ghostbusters that are still alive, Ernie Hudson, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, they are in it at the very end of the film. But it just would have been way better if they would have just tried to do more like a Indiana Jones 4, which I don't mind Indiana Jones 4, a lot of people shit on it. But if they did something like that in the respect that it's continuing on with the same character that we love, like Harrison Ford again. Give us, yes, I know Harold Ramis is dead and that's sad, and that's why they sort of wrote him in as a ghost and stuff. But I think that, and I'll get to that in a bit, but I didn't really like that the ghosts in this, you could see them all, but you couldn't see the ghost of Harold Ramis until the end. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, there's so many little things like that. But This movie, I wanted to like it. I wanted to, but I did not. And I rarely give things lower than 5 out of 10 on here. I rarely do. I'm saying it right now. I hated this kind of, so it's gonna get below 5. Like I said, I like some things about it. There's a couple jokes that were kind of funny. You know, the acting is generally good, but it is just so much. Just remember the first movie. Remember what worked in the first movie. We're doing it again. The Zool dogs, the Keymaster bit. And they changed stuff up a little bit, but not enough in my opinion. And like, why are the Stay Puft Marshmallow Men? They just appear. Like, I don't know. I don't get that. And they're not really ghosts. And it's, I don't know. And they call it Afterlife. So I'm thinking, so this means that like these are the creatures that come after the first movie because it's like the after effect of the first movie or something. But if that's the case, then why is Slimer not Slimer? You know, Slimer is Muncher. Well, Slimer is not Muncher, but they have a similar ghost that's like Slimer that's not Slimer that they call Muncher, and I hate it. Just make it look like Slimer at least. Like, even if it's not Slimer, like, I don't know. I'm getting worked up talking about this, but no, yeah. What I was gonna say before is that what the movie should have been, in my opinion, is it should have been the Ghostbusters continuing the story. So it should have just been Ghostbusters 3, with the main characters being Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Ernie Hudson. But of course, that was never gonna happen, and it should have started with a funeral for Harold Ramis. They could still pay their respects, and it wouldn't be as cheesy as the way they did it, which they computer generated. By the way, the effect is pretty good, to be fair. It looks pretty good, the Harold Ramis effect. But it's weird. They hold it too long. It feels a little cringy, and as well as a little creepy, as well as I feel like it would have been better if they had him talking or someone doing an impression of his voice or something. Maybe they couldn't make that work for some reason. I don't know. But they have Dan Aykroyd and them interacting with him, but maybe just ghosts can't talk, but it's still weird to just have him like nodding and stuff. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. But yeah, what I'm saying is they should have had it start with the funeral. They pay their respects to Harold Ramis, and then they move on and they try to do the Ghostbusters without him. And there's a new villain instead of Gozer. And there's different ghosts. Like, it could have been good. Ghostbusters 2 is better than this, I think. I think I even like Ghostbusters 2016 more than this, which is crazy, but I think I do. And I'm mad that they don't even pay attention to the second movie, rather. They ignore it. It's like it didn't exist at all, and I don't like that, because that's cheap. Cobra Kai is an example of what, in my opinion, what movies and franchises should do. You acknowledge the stupid parts of the movies that didn't work. Like in Cobra Kai, they mentioned the bonsai tree store, which is a really funny part. It's laughable sort of plot point in the third movie, but they make fun of it and they acknowledge that it happened. And if you acknowledge and make fun of these things, it strengthens your movie. It strengthens the universe. It gives more credibility to these characters. But just the way they do it is bullshit, in my opinion. Yeah, I think I'm about out of stuff to say. So let's look at the IMDb. Ghostbusters Afterlife. Oh, and I should say, if anyone wants to talk with me about this, please consider joining the Discord. Please check that out. The Discord, you can talk about the movies with me in the movie chat voice channel if you feel so inclined. But yeah, I'm gonna just check out right now and see if anyone is in there, just in case. I didn't think so, but it was worth a try. Ghostbusters Afterlife. So yeah, like I said, and I did kind of like the ending. That's another thing points towards it, but again, very few things. Like a laugh or two it gave me, as well as like I said, a laugh or two it gave me, as well as the ending is kind of cool because you get to see the Ghostbusters finally at the end. But I wish we'd have seen them at the beginning, and it would have been more about them, you know. But no, you get the kid from from Stranger Things, and you get Paul Rudd. But let's look at the Ghostbusters Afterlife IMDb. So this is 7.1 out of 10. I think people generally like this. I did not like it. It just could have been something less, just so reminiscent of the first movie. Let's see the box office, because this did go to theaters, you know, so it probably made a ton. And oh, it made money. Did it ever? Of course it did, though. Budget $75 million, and the gross was $129 million. So the U.S. and Canada gross, but gross worldwide $197 million. So that's pretty great. They did a good job. But obviously that's why these movies are made, right? Because people will go see them, because people want to see the next part of the story. But I don't know. Yet again, there's so much of like, remember the ghost traps, remember the proton packs, remember the suits, remember blah blah, and it's just like, okay, give me new stuff, give me something else, give me jokes, give me something else that's unique to this film, instead of just remember the first movie, remember the first movie, remember the first movie. Okay, I'm sounding like a broken record, so I think that's time for me to stop and move on to the next film. And then, you know, we'll go talk with We Got the Sauce after him. We'll probably end up just freestyling with him all night. So, yeah, let's check it out here. I'm going to put on a beat. Let's see. I'm going to say a beat from Turn Up Music SK. Here is Dark Horse number 2. Will I rate this thing? Alright. Let's give it... I didn't like it, so I'm gonna give it, below 5. Honestly, I didn't like it very much. I'm giving it for the jokes that I liked, and the ending being kind of cool, and to be fair, like, it looks pretty good, the CGI is good, and like that kind of thing is good, but just too much of the remember the first movie, you know. So I'm gonna give it 3.1. Sort of random, but and for me that's really bad. That's a bad review. But I didn't like it. I mean, I've heard some people liking it, and I get it. If you do, it's fine. But yeah, just too much of milking that first movie, and I get that that's what it was gonna be. I should have known that more, honestly, but I had higher hopes. I thought it would be a little bit more of the Ghostbusters than we got, but of course, tons of Paul Rudd, tons of the kids, the Stranger Things kids, and the other girl. It's just a lot of that, but yeah, could have been so much better. That's why the low rating for me. Ghostbusters Afterlife, 3.1 out of 10 dogs.